Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome for a bit of nostalgia here. I am Mud Puppet Joel. He is Mud Puppet Ryan, and at one time, we were the Mud Puppets.
That is right.
Today, we've got a bit of a treat here. Some of you may have already noticed. This is a never-before-seen match featuring a young Danhausen, as you see there.
Very nice, very evil.
Yes, throwing kicks at the tree trunk legs of Bry Sullivan. This was a handicap match held at Metro Pro Wrestling. This was in September of 2013, Ryan.
Absolutely, and you see Danhausen going low there with a drop kick and making a tag to his partner.
Yeah, Troy Alexander here in this handicap match against Bry Sullivan. Of course, Bry Sullivan, you'll remember, Ryan, was a client of the dastardly Jonathan Presley, JP Investments.
He was, and he, at this time, was absolutely dominant. And in the local independent wrestling scene in Michigan, he was tearing through guys left and right, and that is part of the reason this was a handicap match. No one opponent could take him down.
Very true. You see Alexander here whipping him off the rope, but Sullivan with the reversal. Alexander ducks under, but delivers a drop kick, but does not take the big man off of his feet.
He slowed him down and moved him into the corner, but I don't think that's going to be enough.
No, and in this type of match, they're going to want to make quick tags. They're both giving up a lot of size. Nice leaping forearm there. Giving up a lot of size. They got to make the quick tags, and so far they're doing that. Here goes Donovan Danhausen, as he was known at the time back in, whipped by his partner.
Beautiful. And yeah, Danhausen in here giving up that size, but you can see the talent already, Joel, the way he moves around the ring, the offensive wrestling, wow, into a beautiful choke.
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere with that. And obviously want to utilize their speed. And, to borrow an expression, in a match like this, you want to drag that bigger opponent. You want to drag them into the deep water.
And bringing him down to the canvas where that height and weight difference doesn't matter as much. Oh, what a beautiful Northern Lights suplex out of that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You're giving up that much size. That your opponent is just that. They have that much raw strength. They can break a lot of those holds that a guy the same size as you would not be able to.
And Sullivan, beyond his size, beyond his power, you see here he's got a mean streak. Boot right to the back of the head, and he is just toying with Danhausen. He is just, nice shot to the ribs there.
Yeah, and you'll see throughout this match, it's a spirited affair. Danhausen, as you can see there, throwing the punches. He got a fighting spirit. But
I think some of that fighting spirit just left his body, Joel.
The brute strength of Bry Sullivan is obvious throughout. He has him in the corner here, and not the place you want to be if you're Danhausen.
Absolutely not. And I think, we know exactly what Bry Sullivan has in store for him.
And that is what we call a meaty paw, kids.
And Danhausen is taking a beating in the corner. He's got to get to his partner and make that tag.
I gotta say, quality camera work there.
The camera work is top notch. You're absolutely right.
Cameraman got right in there. Now Bry Sullivan dropping a knee. Now that is one thing I'll say. A guy that size, I don't think it's smart to be leaving the feet very often. Drives that knee right in the side of his head.
Sullivan, he does have some explosiveness. He does have some agility, but I do agree with you. When you've got that size, look at this. This is just mean-spirited. I love it. I absolutely love it. Just tantalizing his partner, saying, go ahead, tag him. Yep.
Using Donovan Danhausen's arm as a puppet almost.
Wrenching back now with the camel clutch, and you see Danhausen is trying his best to wiggle out to get free of that, but that's a lot of weight on his back.
Well, and much like in MMA, you get a few minutes into a match, and you can slip out of those rest holds because now you got a sweat going.
Oh, and he just slammed him down head first into the canvas.
Yeah, and it seems like every time Danhausen mounts a little bit of offense, Bry Sullivan comes back with one of those big power, brute strength maneuvers, and right down to the mat he goes, and splash into the corner.
And you see Jonathan Presley, Bry Sullivan's manager, out there. And I have to give him a lot of credit for the strategy that Sullivan is using. You might look at it and say, it's just brute power, it's just brute strength. No, he is keeping him away from his opponent.
True.
This is solid tag team wrestling by a singles wrestler.
Never hurts to have JP running his mouth out there, though. That was back in his mutton chop era.
A glorious era.
Sullivan again. They're traded a few punches, but that's not where you want to be if you're Danhausen.
That suplex, a one-arm suplex, the power it takes to pull that off. Man, this guy is a destroyer, and Danhausen's in trouble.
Yeah, he needs to make the tag. Troy Alexander just the one stint in the match so far, and it was fairly brief. And again, trading punches, not going to win a slugfest against Bry Sullivan. Maybe some short-term results, but in the long run, that is not going to win out. Danhausen needs to take this opportunity to get out of the ring.
He's got to get to Alexander. Alexander is fresh. Alexander has not taken much punishment. Oh,
another one of those clubbing blows.
And he's able to make it. Wow.
Alexander in, fresh. We'll see if he can use his agility and speed as advantage.
Oh, nice maneuver there.
Quickly takes him down to the mat, slamming his face down, and now goes for a pin. But not even a one count.
You can't keep this big man down. He can take so much punishment, and that's what makes him so dangerous.
Alexander getting the crowd behind him now.
Those fans aren't going to do anything for you. They're not going to help you.
And in this situation, I've got to agree. Like, you got a guy like Sullivan. Like, you got him on the ground. Put the boots to him. Cinching him up for a suplex now. Only gets him a quarter of the way up. See if he'll try it again, but same result. You're trying to roll him up here? That doesn't work either. Sullivan blocks it. Oh! Turns it into a suplex of his own.
And again, just pure power to pull him up from the mat in that position and hit that suplex. Bry Sullivan is a beast.
I'll give Alexander some credit. He saw the suplex wasn't working. He tried to change on the fly. It didn't work.
Danhausen on the apron, trying to get the fans involved, trying to will his partner on.
And now that they're in real trouble, because, I mean, Danhausen has taken quite a bit of punishment and has not had much rest. So Bry Sullivan quickly put down the offensive of Alexander, and I think the team's in trouble now.
Oh, my goodness, that clothesline absolutely clubbed him across the chest. Alexander is in huge trouble here.
Now he almost has no choice but to make a tag, and at a time when it is still not quite advantageous for him to do so.
And again, it's simple maneuvers with Bry Sullivan. It's clotheslines, it's suplexes, it's body slams. He's not doing anything fancy, but he's hitting everything with malice of forethought, and with power.
And you see there, I think JP just told me, let's put him down. He gives a shot to Danhausen for good effect. Now Danhausen jumps in the ring to help out his teammate, and you see the referee there. I believe that referee's name was Derek. He's kind of just throws his hands up like, hey, come on, get out of here.
Even he sees how ineffective it all is against the beast, Bry Sullivan. Picking up Danhausen now, and what is he going to do? Oh,
he's out on his feet.
Dangerous thoughts in his mind, Joel. Dangerous thoughts.
He's going to stack up his opponent.
Oh!
Slams him down onto Alexander. And I would be remiss if I did not mention a friend of ours in the front row there. Heel fan. You see him there in the front row?
I do see the heel fan.
A decade ago there.
Enjoying the matches as he is wont to do.
He's got Danhausen in the corner now. He's got Alexander by the trunks and just chucks him into his opponent. Into belly-to-back suplex. Bry Sullivan has just gone into destruction mode now.
And he is using these men against each other. Oh!
Another belly-to-back.
Again, with the suplex and dropping him right on the back of his head.
And that may be it for Donovan Danhausen. He rolled out there, and Alexander eats a boot. Sullivan takes him up. He's holding him there. He is a little bit of showboating.
Oh, face first. It's got to be it.
Slams him down to the mat. And now I will note here, shoulder not down.
The shoulder was not down. Poor refereeing there.
Yes.
I'll say it.
Well, and hey.
I'll say it.
And that is sometimes a staple of those MPW
but let's be honest, he could have pinned Alexander for 100
He wasn't
there.
kicking out.
He was done.
Hey, you got to be dedicated to your craft, Mr. Referee.
That's true.
Clean it up. And now Presley, as he often does, he's in the ring, running his mouth. Okay, congratulating his client. Nothing wrong with that.
Letting the people know where the power was in MPW.
Look at him stretching there. He had this Sullivan here running his mouth.
That deserves a title shot. Gimme.
He was keen on a title shot at the time.
And he's beating 2 opponents at a time. You got to say the man deserved it. Oh, in a boot to Danhausen and one to Alexander for good measure.
And then this is just poor sportsmanship.
Well, that's a little extra fun. He deserves it. Give him one more.
Kicks him out of the ring. And now look at Presley. Come on.
He's a big man when he's walking with Bry Sullivan.
He's a big man anytime. You could argue.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare besmirch that man.
And now taking their sweet time. And then still, he's standing over the prone Danhausen.
Walking over his opponent, showing them no respect at all.
Taunting fans. And man, how about this theme music from Presley? It's like some bad 70s adult film music. And then you see here, the fallen teammates, at least they're getting to their feet.
Helping each other up.
It was a rough night, a spirited attempt, but ultimately Donovan Danhausen and Troy Alexander put down by the much larger Bry Sullivan.
Should have put a curse on him.